I guess it gives me great pleasure to introduce the country's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Chrystia Freeland, to the podium.
I'm not quite as tall as Jeremy. So. Well, look, thank you very, very much, Jeremy, for that introduction. Thank you for your work. Everyone who is here in the picture, these are all people who are working together to make this great affordable housing, this great community a reality. And it's really inspiring for me to see what you guys are doing and to know that you're doing even more. So I'd like to start by acknowledging that we're located on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene people, and the homeland of the Red River Métis Nation. I love Winnipeg, and I am so happy to be in Winnipeg today. What a great city, and unexpectedly warm for the end of February, so thanks also for organizing that. They're capable of doing a lot, these guys. And I'm really happy to be here with the team at the University of Winnipeg Community Renewal Corporation and to see firsthand the amazing work you're doing, the amazing homes you're creating, and I thought you put it really well, Jeremy, the amazing communities that you are making possible. Before talking about housing, I just want to start by highlighting some good economic news. We learned earlier this week that inflation in Canada fell to 2.9% in January. That's down from 3.4% in December and down from its peak of 8.1%. This is real progress and a return to the Bank of Canada's target range. Great news for all of us, including people trying to get the financing to build more homes faster. And see, Sarah, the finance minister, is smiling at me as I say that. She knows. And now I'd like to take a moment to highlight why this housing project is so special, why it's so important for Winnipeggers, and such a great example for people across the country. We have a guy here from Montreal who's contributing to it, a real inspiration and model for things that we need to do more of in Winnipeg and across Canada. We're at 290 Colony Street right now, where construction on 119 new rental homes has just been completed. People are just starting to move in. This is one of the many recently completed housing projects in the neighborhood, including 320 and 167 Colony Street, which have a combined 212 new homes. And behind us is 308 Colony Street, which is also soon going to be a home to hundreds of people here in downtown Winnipeg. We discussed this earlier today, and I'm going to say now out loud publicly, because nothing helps more than a deadline, people will start moving in by December 2025, right?
Absolutely, right, Box?
Yeah? No pressure. There will be 214 rental units for people with low and middle incomes, as well as 2 commercial spaces on the ground floor. Of the 214 rental units, 86 will be affordable housing for people with low incomes and for vulnerable people. There will be a mix of studio apartments and 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, room for a family. And I really want to emphasize one thing that Jeremy said about a design principle here, which I think is so important, which is you can't tell when you knock on the door whether you're knocking on the door of affordable housing or market rate housing. And as Jeremy pointed out, that's one of the things that makes this a real community. I'm just so inspired by you guys, really thinking about a great place for people to live who need affordable housing, but also thinking hard about being sure people don't feel stigmatized. and being sure that we're creating a real community where people of different incomes live together. The 308 Colony Project is also designed to have near net zero greenhouse gas emissions for the people who live here. That means their energy bills will be lower. Another great accomplishment. Well done, guys. And really importantly, the project is creating over 200 jobs during the course of construction. And I do want to take a moment to recognize and thank the skilled tradespeople whose talented hands and sharp minds are building these homes. Thank you so much. You are doing really, really important work. And people have been talking about how unseasonably warm it is. It's still pretty cold to be working outside all day. And it is really impressive to see people in February in Winnipeg digging deep past the frost into the ground, building foundations for homes. I've even learned, and I'm not going to go into the detail here because we're pushing past the edge of my competence, but brand new techniques in winter housing construction have been invented on this site. So well done. Really, really impressive to see in action. This is a prime example of what a great housing project in Canada in 2024 looks like. Increasing access to affordable housing, creating a vibrant community, creating good jobs, and coming with a low environmental impact that has a direct, immediate benefit for the pocketbooks of the people who are going to live here. And I'm so delighted that, as Jeremy said, our government supported the 308 Colony Project with an investment of $16 million through our Affordable Housing Fund. The fund provides low-interest loans, forgivable loans, and contributions for the construction of new affordable housing, and gives priority to partnerships between governments, nonprofits, and the private sector, exactly what we're seeing here to make projects like this one possible. In fact, all of the buildings in this new neighborhood received federal support. This is an example of the great things we can achieve when all orders of government, great to see you here, Minister Smith, and great to see the province back in the housing sector. I'm really looking forward to continuing to working with you. And organizations like the University of Winnipeg Community Renewal Corporation work together. These are really nice places to live. They're really beautifully, thoughtfully designed apartments. There will be great amenities for people to enjoy, like green space, a lounge, a gym. I learned about an innovative car sharing program people are signed up to who live here. And close to transit, parks, supermarkets, and the University of Winnipeg. And the apartments here are more than housing. They're homes, and they're about creating a true community for all the people who live here and who will live here. The people who are paying market rents, and the people who are living in affordable housing. These are exactly the types of homes that Winnipeg needs more of, and that Canada needs more of. Our government recognizes that, and that's why our economic plan is focused on taking real, concrete action to build more homes faster. Nous débloquons des milliards de dollars en nouveaux fonds pour le logement, dont un financement supplémentaire à faible coût de 40 milliards de dollars dans le cadre du programme du prêt pour la construction d'appartements. Ce financement permettra de construire plus de 100 000 logements locatifs supplémentaires pour la population canadienne. Nous supprimons la TPS sur les nouvelles constructions locatives afin d'éliminer les obstacles à la construction. Nous sévissons contre l'achat de logements canadiens par des étrangers et des étrangères. Nous sévissons également contre les locations à court terme qui empêchent des dizaines de milliers de logements d'être mis sur le marché, en particulier dans des villes comme Toronto, Vancouver et Montréal, où le problème du logement est le plus grave. And we have already signed a number of agreements with municipalities across the country, including with the great city of Winnipeg through the Housing Accelerator Fund. These agreements will help cut red tape and increase Canada's housing supply. In Winnipeg, this means more than 3,000 new homes will be fast-tracked over the next 3 years, and more than 15,000 homes over the next decade. Our government is working every single day to deliver for Winnipeggers and for Canadians from coast to coast to coast. And this beautiful new neighborhood, this entire new community, is a vivid representation of our economic plan in action. So thank you again to everyone who is working so hard to make this project happen. I'm really inspired by your work. I'm really, really grateful to you. This new neighborhood is a wonderful addition to downtown Winnipeg. And Jeremy, I do look forward to coming back when it is all finished. Okay, so December 2025, we said, right? Okay.
It's in the calendar.
It's in the calendar. Okay, thank you very much.
Microphone just there for interested journalists. Just say your name and your outlet. Thank you.
Ian Fraze, CBC.
Hi, Ian.
Hello. A letter by the National Council of Canadian Muslims and hundreds of Muslims organizations states any MP who wish to visit during Ramadan must publicly call for arms shipments to Israel to be stopped and for funding to the UNRWA to be restored, among other pledges. Will you change your position on these issues, and will you visit a mosque during Ramadan this year?
Thank you for the question. And, I think that all of us across the country are really heartbroken by the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. And based on meetings I've had in my own community, based on meetings I've had with Muslim leaders from across the country, I know that that pain is particularly felt by many Muslim Canadians. Our government has been clear that we are calling for a ceasefire. Our government is also glad to be able to provide $100 million in humanitarian assistance for the suffering people of Gaza. On a per capita basis, that's the highest level of humanitarian assistance from any major economy. But I do really understand and recognize how wrenching and painful this situation is for many, many people in Canada.
Would you still strive to attend a mosque, considering, what's been raised by these groups, saying you have to follow these certain pledges, banning arms shipments to Israel as one example?
As a local MP in Toronto, I represent a community with, a riding with an active, vibrant Muslim community. I'm actually very sad to say that one of the local centers was faced an attack not too long ago. I met with the leaders there. I really do recognize how painful this is for the Muslim community that I represent, for Muslim communities across Canada. Obviously, it is for Muslim community leaders to choose where and with whom they want to meet.
Next question. Question.
Hi, Iris from Global News.
Hi, Iris.
Hi. Just down the street is Lyons Place. It was an apartment where many seniors were renting at affordable rates. It was sold and to a company in Alberta. The province stepped in with some funding to allow them to stay for one more year at those rates, but many of them have already moved in anticipation of that funding coming to an end. So we are building apartments like this one. What will your government do to prevent the loss of suites like that?
It's a really good question. And, one of the things that we had a good conversation about earlier today with the people you see here with me who are in the business every day of getting more homes built in Canada, including affordable housing. One of the things that people pointed out is there isn't one single solution to Canada's housing challenge. We need to have a lot of different tools in our toolbox. And certainly one of the tools we need is to just get more homes built faster. Our government is, putting our shoulder to the wheel there, both in terms of providing the financing to help get more homes built faster, and also in terms of work through things like the Housing Accelerator Fund to cut through some of the roadblocks to more construction. So getting more supply built, absolutely essential. I think you point to another really important challenge, which is even as we are getting more homes built faster in Canada, we need to be thoughtful about ensuring that existing affordable housing, existing affordable rental housing is not taken off the market, and that's something that we're definitely focused on too.
I spoke with a couple today who just bought their first home. It was a lengthy process. They had many offers in on houses. Their budget was quite low, but what they found was they were often competing against just investors. They were the only people who were planning to actually live in their owned home. So would you consider restricting the number of homes that an investor can buy just to rent out to people like that couple?
I look forward to watching your report or to reading it. I think that it's really, really important that, as I said, we need to have a lot of tools in our toolbox. Purpose-built rental is definitely one of them, including affordable purpose-built rental. It's also really important to ensure that the dream of home ownership can be a reality for new Canadians and for the young generation. So I'm glad you're focused on that. We definitely, as a government, believe we need to support young Canadians in buying that first home. That's one of the reasons that we launched the First Home Savings Account. We launched that last April, and there are now more than 500,000 Canadians who have opened a First Home Savings Account. What that says to me is Canadians want to buy a first home, and we definitely believe in supporting them. To your point on the financialization of housing, I think you're right that when we think about housing and housing supply, our central focus needs to be that houses need to be homes for Canadians to live in. We shouldn't be thinking about them as a financial asset.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Next question. Prochaine question.
Good afternoon. It's Katie May from the Winnipeg Free Press. Can you confirm that the federal government is committing $30 million to the Hudson Bay Railway?
I'm not here to make an announcement about that.
Do you have any details to share about the federal government's partnership with the province on redevelopment of the Port of Churchill or the railway?
Again, I'm not here to make an announcement other than the issue that I just talked about. But what I will say is I'm really glad that Minister Smith is here with me. Thank you for coming. And, from the very outset, I had the chance to meet Premier Canoe very shortly after his election and my counterpart, Minister Sala. We have already, as I hope Minister Smith will confirm, are already developing a really close, effective working relationship with the provincial government here in Manitoba. There are a lot of projects that we're already working on, and there will be more projects to come.
Next question. Prochaine question.
Bonjour, Victor Loès de Radio-Canada. Est-ce que, en plus de construire des logements comme aujourd'hui, le gouvernement fédéral pourrait s'attaquer à la réhabilitation de logements vacants?
Merci pour la question. Et vous avez raison. On comprend que le logement, c'est un des enjeux les plus importants pour les Canadiens et Canadiennes partout au pays. La réponse centrale, la réponse clé, la pierre angulaire de notre politique doivent être construire, construire, construire. Et c'est ce qu'on est en train de faire. On est ici pour souligner ce qu'on est en train de construire aujourd'hui. Mais vous avez raison qu'il n'y a pas une seule réponse au problème de logement. On doit faire beaucoup de choses. On doit s'attaquer à la financiarisation du logement. On doit créer des outils pour permettre aux jeunes, aux nouveaux arrivants d'acheter leur première maison. On doit aussi travailler fort pour permettre que le logement abordable reste abordable. Et comme vous avez dit, absolument, on doit travailler pour renouveler le logement qui existe aujourd'hui, mais qui peut-être n'est pas adéquat pour les gens.
Et il y a plus de 5000 personnes sur liste d'attente pour le logement abordable. Est-ce qu'en plus de ce projet aujourd'hui, le gouvernement fédéral a d'autres projets en cours ou prévus, d'autres projets concrets?
Oui, plusieurs. Plusieurs ici à Winnipeg, plusieurs partout au pays. J'ai parlé de l'accord qu'on a maintenant avec la ville de Winnipeg qui permettra la construction de milliers et milliers de plus de logements ici à Winnipeg. J'ai parlé aussi de notre décision d'enlever la TPS sur la nouvelle construction. Vous pouvez parler des gens ici qui sont les constructeurs. Ça va permettre plus de construction. Et aussi, on est en train de continuer les accords, comme les accords de financement pour la construction des appartements, comme le financement qui a joué un rôle dans la construction des appartements où nous nous trouvons aujourd'hui. Merci.
All right, we'll have time for one last question. Une dernière question. No?
I think we're out of questions. Okay, thank you. And I just want to say to the journalists, thank you guys very much for being here today. Really appreciate your work. Okay, and thanks everybody. Thank you for your hard work.
Can we get a picture?
Yes, I think we should take a picture. I don't ever have to apologize for blocking anybody.
Okay, I don't want to, I'm going to come in between you two, and I'm not blocking either.
Watch out when you guys are there. I got on the airplane this morning and the flight attendant didn't have a thing. She said her name and I said, yes. I had no idea you were so short. Well, I wouldn't mind if you